We created orderproducer.java to write messages to either order backlog China or order backlog US. That's because in each of those topics, we're then going to read those messages out using either inventory checker China, which will use some logic to decide if the order should be approved or declined, and inventory checker US reading from order backlog US to decide if the order should be approved or declined. All approved orders would end up still in the order approved topic after they are approved or order declined. Let's take a look then at the order of the messages as we read them out of the order approved. This could be simulating, for instance, an application that would read from the approved email or approved topic to send emails out to the user that their order has been approved. But we're also going to use it to check the messaging order. So from inventory checker China, I'm actually going to copy that code. But first, let me create a new file. I'm going to call this confirmation email.java. So from confirmation email.java, to get started, instead I'm going to take inventory checker China and copy the entire file just for simplicity and paste that in. The first thing I need to do is change the class name to confirmation email. And then here in the main method, I'm going to call this constructor confirmation email, as well as this type here, confirmation email. We'll also do confirmation email here, register that. And then that's what we're going to execute run on. Just going to run setup and work loop. So from setup, I'm going to say, I'm actually not going to use the producer client. We're not going to produce anything from this. So I could remove this. And I could also remove, for now, the producer factory here as well. And then we're going to be changing the handle method to not use the producer factory. So I'm going to remove anything related to the producer there as well. So remove anything from the producer in three places: in the setup, the main object that was created inside of our class, and then also the producer here in the handle message. So I'm also going to remove this blocking get as well. I can also remove this string message here, printing that out that we published it. So what we're going to do is create and register the consumer. So the consumer is going to be a string. The topic name that we're going to read from is going to be order approved. And the subscription name I'm going to say is confirmation email. We get the messages out the same way and we handle them the same way. We accept. All of this looks very similar to me. I don't think there's much we need to change here at all to check the ordering on the order approved. Now, one thing I haven't mentioned too much is in the POM file. This is where we link the Maven command to what file. So I haven't talked about this too much, but I'm going to have to add a new entry here. You can see there's some that already existed. So in my Maven command, I'm going to say confirmation email, and I'm going to link that to the file confirmation email, the main method. So that's how my Maven command works. So when I go over here, I should probably change this to say confirmation email. And then that's the one I'm going to be executing from the terminal. So let me start up this application, make sure it works, and it should be reading from the confirmation email, or reading from the order approved topic using the confirmation email subscription name. So I, of course, need to go into the developer training folder. I'm going to execute that command. And this is going to the earliest position. And it went ahead and did process some messages. But let me go ahead and start up my order producer. So I'm going to start writing to both order backlog China and order backlog US. But we're not going to process out of those into approved or declined quite yet until I have a few started up. So here it's creating a new producer. So I'm writing to order backlog US, order backlog China, back and forth. You can see here it's writing to those topics. But nothing yet is being processed further in this confirmation email from the order approved because I haven't approved any orders yet. So let's start approving orders from China. To do that, I'm going to start inventory checker China. And message ordering is guaranteed for the topic because I have the exclusive subscription. So here's inventory checker China. And look at all these messages are in order. And that's because they're in the topic in order. Our exclusive subscription pulls them out in order. We process them in order in our application. So we read one, we write over to the output topic before we read the next one or start processing the next one. So everything stays in order within China. Writing over to order approved. And if we go ahead and look over at the confirmation email, they're still staying in order. What do we need to do next? Well, let's turn on the US version of this, the approval of all of the US orders. So what I expect should happen is a bunch of them are going to get approved, all the ones that have been sitting in that topic. And then relative to China, they're going to be out of order. But within the US topic, they're still in order. So let's, as soon as a bunch of them get approved from, here they come, all the ones from the US. And then now the ones from within China are still in order and the ones from the US are still within order. So this is a bit about message ordering. You can see that within the series of topics that we're processing the China data, it continues to stay in order. Within the series of topics that we're processing the US data, it has stayed in order. But because they have kind of diverged at one point by going into two separate topics, when we reconverge them, that doesn't guarantee ordering across US and China.